Hi guys, Dave here from Wolf on the Wild Survival. There are times where you might want to go unnoticed, but there are times when that could work against you and you want to attract attention, which is why I've completely revamped my Get Lost bag and rethought basically everything about it, and I think I've got it done. I think this is the final incarnation. So let's set up over here and let me show it to you. Alright, first of all, the bag. Now, if you've watched the first or second incarnation of this bag, you'll know this is quite a bit different. The first one was a smaller one strapped to my belt. The second one, same basic thing, little bit bigger. It did have some holes in its system that needed to be filled. The little pack itself was great, but it couldn't hold necessarily everything that I wanted to put in there, and it was getting kind of heavy to have on my belt. So even though, you know, I had a belt on and it was, you know, the belt was nice and tightened up and kind of whatever, it always felt like, you know, my pants were trying to be pulled down. And when you're trekking through the woods, it's just very uncomfortable. So I got a sling bag, sort of an over the shoulder kind of thing. And I got it in sort of the camo green, because there are times where I may have this, but I want to go by generally unnoticed. It's not until I want to be noticed that I can start to unpack this, and, well, you'll see. You'll definitely see. So the bag itself is from Mil-Spec, which they're not bad. They're kind of a budget company, so you can't necessarily be super rugged with one of these, super abusive to it, and expect it to hold up to it. It's certainly not military gear, but it's military-like, so it has that general appearance, and it's got a lot of, you know, organizational capability, which I really like. As well, I also put on one of those water bottle holders, and it works well with the bag. The whole thing, you know, it really does go together great. I really like it. It doesn't carry very heavy, you know, very heavy at all. It's not bad. It's very comfortable to wander around in, and, you know, you could sort of shove it on your back and let it sort of hang. You could bring it up front and mess around with it. You can, you know, you can wander through the woods and kind of rummage through the contents and, you know, not really break much of a stride or stop or anything. So it's better than the one that I had affixed to my belt for that reason. Okay. So, oh, and while you're carrying it, it's got some padded sections that just make it a little more comfortable. So that's kind of nice. That's a nice feature. I like that. Okay. So on the outside, I have a knife. It is not my Selkirk. My Selkirk goes on my belt all the time, unless I'm in a park or, you know, kind of whatever. But there are times where I've gone out and I realize, oh, I forgot my Selkirk. Well, that's what this is for. This is the Remington, what do they call it? The Remington camper's knife, or I'm pretty sure it was the Remington camper's knife is what they called it. It's stainless steel. It's not incredibly high quality. It does take an edge, very, very nice. It does hold an edge pretty well for stainless steel, and it's just, even though it's kind of a small-ish kind of knife, it does fit in my hand fairly well. It's got a nice big choil there for delicate carving, smaller tasks, and it is full tang. I have not batoned with this or actually checked the hardness of the steel, but I looked it up and it was around the 56 to 58 mark, so it should be fine. It should be totally fine. But you know, that is there because it's part of the kit, and if I happen to forget my Selkirk, at least I've got that. The water bottle bag. Now, shocking, I got a water bottle in it. It is a sort of a knockoff Nalgene. It's not an actual Nalgene, but it's BPA free. It's a 34-ounce water bottle. Nothing super special, super fancy about it. However, this is the only, they had this in clear, and I bought like a bunch of these. I will be going to buy an actual Nalgene in Hunter Orange. Very important for this kit generally, so this is kind of holding a place right now, because you know, I bought about a half a dozen of these things. They're like $4 or $5, right? It's not a big deal. But I will be getting it in like a Hunter Orange or a Bright Orange. Now in the front, I have a Shemagh. This is another thing that I could not find in any bright color. And it was kind of a drag, but all in all, I'd rather have this than like a bright orange bandana or something. This is much, much better. It's nice, big. Most of you probably know what a Shemagh is. You know, I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But at some point I will get on the internet and I will try to find one in like a Hunter Orange as well. This way here, it could be used as a signaling device as well as everything else you could use a Shemagh for. Okay. At the very top of the pack, this is the only thing I don't like about this bag. Oh. Check this out. So, there's a pocket right here. You see where the zipper is? Oh no, you don't, because way around. The zipper is at the bottom of the pocket. So when you open it up, that's like to my first knuckle deep. But the pocket itself is actually quite big. Open that up, and if you have a bunch of stuff loose in there, it all falls. It just all falls out. Major pain there. I don't know what were you guys thinking? That is literally the only thing I don't like about this bag. So, we have a dry bag. Why is it blue? Because practically everything in my pack that I could do is Hunter Orange, including another dry bag that I'll show you in a minute, and I wanted to make sure that I could tell the difference between the two. even though, I mean, it's, you know, different locations, obviously. But, hey, if I say to somebody, go into this pocket, get the Hunter orange dry bag, they're not going to bring this to me. And like, no, the other one. So, I got this one in blue. And this is... Okay, let me throw this... Oh, that's good. Okay. I have Bic lighter. It's one of the clear ones, so I can see the fluid level. So I know immediately when I'm running low on fluid, and I know when to replace it. I am colorblind, and I thought that was actually orange when I bought it. I said, "Is there an orange lighter?" And the guy's like, "Oh yeah, that one on the left." And I grabbed the wrong one. He didn't say anything. So, okay, I have my Pelican 1910 little mini flashlight. This takes one... What is it? I'm pretty sure it's a AA battery. Or, well, maybe. No, it's a AAA. It takes one AAA battery. And that's actually, that battery's been in there a good long time. I don't use this flashlight a lot, but, you know, that it doesn't actually take up a lot of power to run, and it's pretty bright too. For a small light, it's pretty bright. So, nice, small, compact. It's a good light. Naturally, I have a ferro rod. That's one of the ones from Coughlin's. I don't necessarily like the strikers, but what are you gonna do? And I know that my Selkirk, I think this one does. I think I tested. Yeah, so that does. I thought so. I just wanted to make sure. I wouldn't want to give you guys some misinformation and then have somebody go out and buy that exact knife and say, "Hey man, I thought you said, you know, now I'm out in the bush and I can't strike my ferro rod." So that is just some regular run-of-the-mill sort of fighter starter for like a barbecue. It's almost like the Coughlin fire sticks, but it's like a cheaper version. I am going to actually test it out. Just not today, unfortunately. I was on my way to an area where I could have a fire. A friend of mine got a hold of me, needs some help relatively soon. I didn't have enough time to run out and run back and shoot the video, so I'm just sort of really close to in town, so I can't light a fire with it. Hand sanitizer. This has the alcohol, so speaking of fire starting, this can help you start a fire because alcohol. It will take a strike from a ferro rod. I wanted to demonstrate that today too. Unfortunately, that's for another video. But hygiene is important, but if you can get the stuff with alcohol, then it's dual purposed at the very least. So definitely book of wooden matches, or pack, or a case, or a box, or whatever. Try to have 2-3 ways to start fire, basically. That's little fire tinders. These things are awesome. I got those out of the Coughlin's kit that I tested, and the kit itself failed. It was not very good, but these things are great. I really, really like those. They will get a fire going. Button compass. That works. It actually does. It takes, you know, a little bit of time to, you know, actually get it to point north. And you kind of have to, you know, be very still and level it off very specifically. But it is a decent compass. And oh, that's it. So this can also be used as a flag. It is somewhat eye-catching in the bush, so that bright colors. And like I say, I have one that's hunter orange. You'll see that in a minute. But I want to be able to differentiate between the two. So, and all in all, I needed something to put all this stuff in, because that pocket is not good. Not good at all. That pocket is a major pain with where the zipper is. Whoever designed that bag, just, I don't know, they weren't thinking. Alright, let's move around a bit. Alright, so that's the top pouch. Right at the very top, that's all of my fire lighting. Basically, right there. And like my flashlight, my fire and my light, all in there, right on the top. Now, on the side, and here's something that was really lacking. If I get lost in the woods and I want to stop and sort of set up a bit of a camp, I want, you know, maybe a hot drink or something to eat. I didn't have that in the last one at all. And although I did have a metal bottle that I could boil water in and, you know, kind of whatever, I didn't even think about throwing like a pack of chocolate milk in it or whatever. So as you can tell, the metal bottle is now gone, and I have that there. Now, I could very easily nest that metal bottle into this and just have the lid at the bottom of the bag here. But I filled it full of food. I have tea, my chocolate chai tea, I love that stuff. I've got coffee whitener. I've got some instant coffees. I've got 2 beef bouillon cubes, 2 vegetable bouillon cubes, and 2 chicken bouillon cubes. I have 2 packages of lentils, like 2 little Ziploc bags of lentils. And I have some sugar and some wet naps. And then I have a package of instant chicken noodle soup and a package of instant onion soup. So that is much more preferable than having my metal water bottle as well as this. Because don't forget, I got the Nalgene in here, and I'll obviously fill it before I go on a hike, and if I need to, I can boil water, put it in there, and, you know, kind of whatever. However, I also have some water purification in here as well. Yeah. Okay, so I've got this. I can build a fire. I can cook. I can, you know, water, whatever. I don't have a full set of gloves in this pack, so handling this out of the fire might be a little bit hard. Now, the whole idea of this is to try to have as much covered as possible while still being very lightweight and portable and not really getting in the way. So a pair of leather gloves to handle out of the fire would take up way too much space in here, and I wouldn't have enough room for everything else. So what I did is I just bought a cheap pair of leather gloves, and I cut 3 of the fingers off, and then I sewed them around the top just to keep them, you know, in good shape. And that's what I handle my hot pot with. So when I want to take it out of the fire, I just use that. Now, this is, you know, my get lost bag. This is for hiking and, you know, exploring around and whatnot. If I need gloves, I'll have gloves on me. If I need a hat, I'll have a hat on me. This is me just going out for a hike. But if I don't need gloves because it's not cold out or whatever, I still want to be able to have something that I can manipulate this when it's hot. So that's my best idea for that. So, and they stay in the same pocket that my container and food go in. Now, on the food side of it, maybe you can't stop and, do the whole fire and, kind of whatever. For whatever reason, you got to keep going, right? So, I have sort of some food on the go type stuff. I have 2 cereal bars, for lack of a better term. Nut bar. I have 2 nut bars. There we go. And they're both good friends of mine, but I also have these. I also have some lemon lime sports beans. Fast energy for sports performance. Carbs, glue sides, cohelenhydrate, as well as vitamins B and C. There's whatever. And I have 2 pepperoni sticks. Food on the go, food around, the camp, hot food. That's my food. Okay. Back to now. On this side here, I have my tools. I have a folding knife. Always good to have a backup knife. So I've got my full tang fixed blade, and I have my folding knife. I have a multi-tool. You never know. And I have my camp shovel. My little mini trowel. Camp trowel. And I also, for tools, I also have, it wouldn't fit in that pocket, unfortunately. I was pretty disappointed. I have a silky pocket boy. It'll probably fit in this pocket without the case. But, oh yeah. Maybe I'll do that then. I really like the case. I don't know. I really like that little case, but I don't know. Doesn't matter. Fact is, now, oh. Okay, maybe I'm not a fan of this case anymore. There we are. So, I've got the knife, I've got the trowel, I've got the multi-tool, and I have the K-bar mongoose. Okay. Boy, I'm getting really bad at this, aren't I? I should probably, I don't know, brush up on whatever I have before I shoot a video. I have a K-bar folder. Somebody that I knew had one of these. I thought it was a great knife. I really liked it. I went online and I found it for, I think it was like 33 bucks or something like that, Canadian, and I ordered it and had it shipped to me. And it is a really good knife. It takes an edge, it holds an edge. I'm very impressed by it. It's really nice. And on the side of that pouch, as always, I have my paracord bracelet. Okay. In this back pouch, I have a red bandana. When I said I would rather have that shemagh than like a bright orange bandana, well, I actually started out with a red bandana. All in all, it doesn't take up a lot of room and it doesn't weigh anything, so I stuck it in the back. That could be whatever you need it to be. Whatever it can do, it can be. So it stays. But obviously, the shemagh is way, way better. So, got replaced. Okay, here we are, my water purification tablets with the instructions. Took them out of the box, put the tablets and the instructions into a Ziploc bag, stuck them in to there. That's my water purification aqua tabs from my big bottle there. I also have a signaling mirror and the Howler Whistle Slim. That thing is loud, high-pitched, and really annoying. People are going to hear you. I recommend the Howler Whistles over any other whistle. I recommend the Howler Whistles. They are great. They really are. All right. So, already got quite a bit different than the last two incarnations of my Get Lost bag. Like I say, I sat down and I rethought the whole thing and revamped it. And, okay. Oh. Ow. Front pocket. Just below the annoying pocket is the front pocket. That's full of Hunter Orange paracord. I've got like 100 feet of paracord jammed in there. It's still in the package, and I haven't cut it into lengths or anything like that. But there's 100 feet of Hunter Orange paracord in that front pocket. So that's now the top half of this thing is waterproof, so it will generally protect the stuff that's inside, which is why the paracord is in this pocket here, but the first aid is in here. One, because it's a bigger pocket. Two, because it's protected, stays dry, or drier, longer. Okay. I'm sure a lot of you who have watched my videos know that I am kind of a klutz. It's not without the realm of possibility that I might fall down, possibly on like a broken branch or stick, or, you know, like a tree sticking out of the ground that's been busted off, and I might get a puncture wound. I might fall on my knife and get a puncture wound. It's possible. What can I say? I'm not that bright. So I have 2 of these little lady products wrapped up in plastic in the applicators. If I fall on a tree branch or whatever, and I have a big hole in me, I'm going to take one of these, I'm going to put it in the hole, I'm going to plug the applicator thing and push that into the hole, and that's going to stop me from bleeding out. Also, it's good for, you know, a lot of other first aid applications, and it's pretty good fire tinder in a pinch. So, also, I have some Zantac antacids. I don't know why. This past year I've just been getting kind of a burning stomach thing. Maybe it's all the coffee I drink, but I like to keep it around, so I've got the antacids. I've also got a collection of different sizes of Band-Aids. I have the benzocaine wipes and the alcohol wipes, as well as some big gauze pads. I think there's some Q-tips in there as well. And Yeah, that's a pair of non-latex PVC, not nitrile, PVC. A pair of PVC medical gloves in a sealed pack. And a large 90% reflective body heat blanket, Mylar blanket. Was the measurements on there? I thought it was. It's a fair size one. It's bigger than average. Nope, it was one of the guys at the store I bought it from that told me the measurements, which I can't remember now, but when he told me, I was like, that's not bad for a space blanket. That's pretty big. So that is my first aid, my medical. That's, you know, mostly a boo-boo kit, but it is what it is. I can't necessarily carry around an entire trauma kit in here, or I won't have much. But there's enough there I can, you know, if I hurt myself, I can take care of myself. So that's right at the front. You click it open and boom, it's right there. You want your first aid stuff to be accessible as possible. So there it is. All right. My camp cutlery. You guys have seen some of this stuff before, and I kind of like this stuff. A laminated map of the province that I live in. Waterproof, weatherproof, almost me-proof. I'm pretty hard on my gear. This holds up to it. It's pretty good. As well as a proper compass. Now, it's a pretty good one. It's pretty good. It's not necessarily the best compass in the world, but it gets the job done, and it fits in the pack just fine. Although, I'm really starting to like those base plate compasses. I might replace it with a base plate. I don't know. But a map and a compass. You should definitely at least learn the basic skills on how to use these. The old pack had the button compass, and that's pretty much it. No map. A compass isn't going to be all that useful to you if you don't have a map. It's not totally useless, don't get me wrong. You can take bearings and whatnot so that you know the direction you're traveling in, so when it's time to leave, you can turn around and travel back. But, you know, I mean, other than that, if you get totally, hopelessly lost, this ain't going to do you no good without one of these. So, one of the biggest reasons why I actually switched over to this bag is because holes like that. So, okay, actually, we'll finish off the... You've seen the mirror, the compass, you've seen the mirror, you've seen the howler whistle. That is, that you know, signaling. This is the final signaling part. It had to go in the big pocket because it didn't really fit back there with everything else. But in the orange bag, which can also be a flag, you know, nice, bright, eye-catching. It's even got a blue band on it, kind of thing. So, you know, creates a bit of contrast. So there's a visual. Nice, you know, if I'm laying on the ground and I'm hurt, I can take my silky saw and I can cut me a tall, thin tree branch or, you know, sapling tree, you know, kind of whatever. And I can attach that onto that tree and stand it up while I'm laying on the ground blowing on my whistle. trying to get someone's attention. You know, I'm getting old. I could fall and break my hip. You never know. So that's why such a large bag for one small thing. I have a flare gun. There's the launcher. There's the flare. So you take this little cap off, and then you screw it onto here, and then let me just put that back, then you unlock it, pull back, and let go, boom, and it'll set it off. What this here is called a bear bang. If I've got a bear or other predatory animal bothering me, I just, and it's almost like a shotgun shell without any of the shot, and it's just a loud bang. So scare the critter away. Animals are used to people having guns. They're not stupid. They'll think that's a gun, and they'll leave me alone. I have 3 flares and I have 2 bear bangs and 1 launcher, and it all fits in the very bottom. And I also have the instructions and the contents list, just in case it's not me using it, so that somebody will know the difference between a flare and a bear bang. You know, if that ever is an issue. But at the very least, the instructions are in the bag as well. And like I say, it is kind of a large dry bag for such a small, little item, but it is also a flag. So okay, so that's all my signaling. It's all of my tools. That's all, kind of whatever. Now we are on to shelter. I have an emergency rain poncho here in Hunter Orange. Now, obviously, the very first part of my shelter is the clothes that I'm wearing. That's kind of your inner shelter. You always want to keep your inner shelter dry. So, rain poncho for the rain. If it's extremely cold, you can put it on and it'll help to retain some heat. But you don't want to put it on specifically to be more noticeable and start sweating in it, because if you're in the woods overnight and it happens to get cold, you're in trouble. So that is that. I have the SOL emergency bivvy. Between my clothes and this here, I should be nice and warm if I have to spend the night in the woods. Is it 1 or 2? I think it's 2, but either way, yeah, it's 2. In this Ziploc bag, I have 2 3-mil 55-gallon drum liners. In a bad situation, it can be a rain poncho. It can be ground cover, or it can be your overhead, all depending on how you cut it. Or you can use everything that I have. Say conditions are somewhat optimal for the fact that I'm lost in the bush, and everything works the way it should, and I have no problems at all. At the very least, I can stuff this full of leaves and, stuff like that. And I can make a mattress. I could collect water. I could... anything you can, use your imagination. Anything you can use a bag for. Now, it is in a Ziploc freezer bag. Okay, so I put a bag in a bag. I put a plastic bag, too, in a plastic bag. Well, bags are useful. If I'm roaming around and I find some tinder or some wild edibles or water even, I can keep it in the Ziploc bag and I don't have to waste one of the great big drum liners. So that's that. Oh. Okay. Ta-da! Orange Mylar blanket. Like fairly thin, but not too bad. For a Mylar blanket, it is fairly robust. And I don't mean that as in, it'll take a lot of abuse, because these things literally take no abuse. This is just a little bit more robust, so it'll take slightly a bit more. And I actually I went along the top half, I suppose, and I put Gorilla Tape across, and then I put grommets. So if I have to, I could use it as like a lean-to, or I could just nail it to the ground, or whatever. And then I have the SOL Sport Utility Blanket. And one side is, the shiny Mylar. The other side is Hunter Orange. And this thing will stand up to a fair bit more abuse than a regular Mylar will. You could do a lot more with this. This is technically supposed to be the top part of my lean-to type shelter. Although, if necessary, for whatever reason, I could totally do a double lean-to, an alpine shelter, which I will show you guys someday. I could totally do an alpine with this setup. I could do an alpine shelter, I could do an A-frame, I can do a lean-to, I can do all kinds of different stuff just with this setup. So, just so much better having all this stuff the way it is. So, now this was meant just for the one bag, so it's a little bit tight, but that's okay. That's okay. Nice storage little area. This is my shelter. And I have multiple options that I can do with it. So I like that. I like having that ability. And on the inside, there's another organizational pocket. It's just like a mesh pocket. But the organizational capability of this bag really is great. I really do like it. Okay, so I have 4 of those hand warmer jobbies. They're supposed to last 10 hours. You open them up and give them a shake. Once they're exposed to oxygen, they heat up. They stay warm for a while, apparently. So I got 1 for each glove, 1 for each boot. I also have an extra plastic bag and 2 packages of Larry the Cable Guy rump wipes. I am not a fan. We got a bunch of Canada geese taking wing here. Hi guys. I'm not a fan of pooping in the woods. I'm not using moss or leaves or whatever if I don't have to. I'll use that bandana before I use moss and leaves, to be honest with you. Just wash it off in a stream or kind of whatever. But, I mean, at least for the first little while I don't have to do that, because there's 12 in a pack, so I have 24 of them here. So, and it's just, you know, it's better than toilet paper when you're in the woods. So, multi-purposed, I could use it to clean myself off and, you know, kind of whatever. Knife fell out while I was showing you guys that last thing. That's not good. It's never done that before. Okay, okay, it is still tied on. Okay, I just didn't put it in right. So, okay, it's fine. Yeah, I just didn't put the knife into the case right when I first did that. So, anyway, yeah, that's it. That's my Get Lost Bag 3.0. That's the whole thing. Now, this is the part where I say, if you think I forgot anything, let me know in the comments section. I gotta be honest with you, I really hope I didn't forget anything. Really, really hope I didn't. Because, I put an awful lot of thought into this. I think I got everything covered, you know, more or less. You know, that whole, like Dave Canterbury's 10 C's of survival kind of thing. I'm, you know, more focused on the first 5, more or less. But, and, you know, as much as I could possibly do, everything I could possibly get in Hunter Orange, I did. Everything's got to be eye-catchingly noticeable. So if I'm in trouble, if I'm lost, if I'm injured, if I need help, I have the ability to get that help if there's anybody nearby. Okay. So, if I forgot anything, let me know in the comments section. And hopefully I've got it all covered by now. But there's a little bit more room in there if absolutely necessary. So don't be shy. Join in on the comments and you know, let me know. But it's now getting around that time where I got to go help that buddy of mine. So I'm gonna say this video is done, and I'm gonna go do that. So thanks very much for coming out with me today and checking out my new Get Lost bag. And I hope you enjoyed. And honestly, I really do hope that people who spend as much time in the woods as I do, or even half the amount, puts something together like this. It's just so useful to have this stuff, even if you don't get lost. It's so useful to have it, and it's a peace of mind. And if you have trouble finding these mil-spec bags, I will try. I bought it at Forest City Surplus here in London. I'll go back and I will find out where they get them from, or you know, whatever. I'll try to link into the description of this video if I can at all. But I don't know. I mean, if you try and you can't get one, I will find the exact price that I paid for it, and I don't know, if you want, give me your address and an email money transfer for the item, and I'll buy it and mail it off to you. So, you know. But here I am talking up a storm again, and I really should get going. So, I will see you guys in the next video, and until then, have yourself a good one.